What's going on, everybody? We're here, we're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. And if you can see and hear me clearly, please just drop a one in the live chat and we can get today's show started. Also, please make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Please make sure you share this video out. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can get notification whenever I release a new video. Now, let's see if the ones come in, and then we can get today's show started. And shout out to Rob from Blacklight Revelations 2. Make no mistake, you're still black. You're absolutely right, Rob. Technically speaking and metaphorically speaking, if we're talking about, voting for Joe Biden, right? If we're talking about Biden Harris 2024, some of us still ain't black, but some of us still are black, and we're going to get into that today. We're going to get into why Joe Biden can make statements like that, and it just goes over our people's head for some reason, right? And we tolerate this kind of foolishness and disrespect, because it was disrespect when he said that way back when. But let's get into today's show, right? I see the ones coming in, the ones are dropping in, and you actually got a notification. That's great. That's great. Also, make sure not only just follow me on social media, because that's obvious, right? The Twitters and the Facebooks and all that good stuff. The link is in the description box below. But if you haven't already, please make sure you join my Telegram group. The link to join my Telegram group, the Telegram group, is pinned in the live comment section right now. That's scrolling on your right or left, depending on how you're looking at this, or if it's on the bottom of you if you're watching this on your phone, right? Please make sure you join the Telegram group. That way, it just helps out with the shadow banning and notifications not getting sent out and everything of that nature. And also, lastly, before I get started, I have an update. I have an update on how things transpired, right? I think that's the word that I'm looking for, in between me and my friend of 20 plus years, who I said that I believe that Kamala Harris was driving a wedge in between our friendship, right? So I have an update for you guys. I definitely have an update for you all on that, and you'll find it quite humorous. So let's get into today's show, right? But that's going to be at the end of the stream. I'll discuss that, right? So let's get into today's show, right? Now, when originally I was putting this stream together, I had this in mind last week because of an article that I came across. I was having a hard time really thinking about what I wanted to title today's show and how I wanted to go about discussing it, because based on, the title of the article that I'll be referencing, it's a Time magazine article, and I'll pull it up in a moment. And they're referencing, how Biden appears to be on shaky ground with Black America, right? So I said, oh, okay. So I know where I'm going to go with this one. But then as I proceeded to read the article, and from there, I looked at a few data points, I saw that, despite the article saying that he's on shaky ground with Black folks, the data says otherwise, right? And that's what's so irritating, disturbing, and annoying with us. You know what I mean? So let's get into this very quickly, because what today's show is also going to highlight is that it's really going to put a focus on how important the Black vote is to the Democratic Party, and how much they freak out when it drops just a little bit, right? When it drops just a little bit, they start panicking, right? But before we get into the Time magazine article and the data, right, let me pull up this tweet for you very quickly. So give me just a moment while I pull this up, and it should be on your screen right now. Okay. Now, here's a tweet right here, and it's by a gentleman named Brian Krasenstein, I believe. I don't know. I'm really bad with name. Brian Krasenstein, something like that, right? And he's a vote blue matter no matter who guy, as far as I can see. And I want to get into this tweet. Let me zoom in a little bit and make it a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see it a little bit more clearly, right? Now I want you to look at this tweet that he put out. Breaking. The April jobs report is out. The unemployment rate is 3.4%. The unemployment rate is the lowest in 50 years. The unemployment rate under Trump never reached this level. The Black unemployment rate is 4.7%. The Black unemployment rate is the lowest it's ever been, right? The Black unemployment rate is the lowest ever. 253,000 jobs were added last month. Yet the economy is one of the strongest on the planet right now. Yes, inflation is still high. Yes, some people are still struggling. Yes, oil prices are too high. Yes, our national debt is an embarrassment. But overall, we are doing pretty darn well compared to others, right? Now, first thing I want to say is this. I find it really interesting, right? Let's look at this part right here. The black unemployment rate is 4.7%. The black unemployment rate is the lowest ever. What I find interesting about that, and I really wish I had this other video clip queued up, and it's from a video that I did once before, right? But I find it really interesting that it seems like under every president, it doesn't matter who's president, doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter who's in office. Have you all noticed that every presidency they give out some phantom statistic, phantom data, phantom information on how black unemployment is its lowest ever? It's its lowest in 50 years. How can it be that every presidency the black unemployment rate is its lowest ever? How can it be that every presidency the black unemployment rate is at its lowest in 50 years? I know I'm not the only one that's noticed that, right? Have you all noticed that as well? That's really interesting to me that it's always the lowest ever, right? But not to harp on that too much, here's the other thing that I find interesting as well concerning this tweet. Why is he mentioning the black unemployment rate, right? Because if we're talking about, black America, if we're talking about, Joe Biden and how well he's doing, running the country and things of that nature, and then also when you're talking about the Democratic Party, the nickname for them is like the umbrella party, right? Because they represent like so many quote groups, right? Black, Hispanic, AAPI, LGBT, so on and so forth, right? Women, minorities, people of color, marginalized groups, immigrants, everything like that, right? They're considered like they're called the umbrella party. Why didn't he list the unemployment rates for all other demographics? Why just Black Americans? Because this highlights how important the Black vote actually is to the Democratic Party. It highlights the fact and the reality, regardless of what John Leguizamo might think, that Democrats cannot win the presidency without Black Americans. This is why weaponizing the vote on behalf of this is why Black Americans needing to weaponize the vote is so important in order to get the things that we need legislatively speaking, right? Because they literally can't win without us. And the moment the approval rating amongst Blacks dips just a little bit, they freak out. This is why you see this, the Mzungu on your screen right now, Mr. Brian. He's listing off all these things that Biden has done amazingly well since he's been in office. But when it comes to demographics, he made sure to isolate Black Americans so that we know, hey, Blacks, hey, Black people, or excuse me, hey, Blacks, hey, Blacks, Biden's doing really well with you guys. So don't forget to vote for him, okay? Make sure you keep doing what you're doing and vote blue no matter who, right? Because if you don't vote for Biden, you ain't Black, right? Or I should say, if you don't vote for Biden, where is it at? If you don't vote for Biden, you still ain't Black, all right? Understand that. Don't think that because you're not going to vote for Biden, oh, I didn't vote for Biden, but I'm Black. No, you still ain't Black, okay? You still ain't Black if you don't vote for Biden, Harris 2024. That's why you see this man highlighting Black folks the way that he does. People should take note of that, right? He should have listed off all demographics. He's telling on himself right now. He's telling on the Democratic Party. Now, I want to shift over to the Time magazine article that I'm going to be referencing, right? And then we're going to get into some data. And like I said, I think this is very important to highlight the importance of the Black vote within the Democratic Party because, we don't weaponize it in order to get what we need, right? A lot of people think that what I just want you to do, a lot of people like to say, oh, TD, let me put the camera back on me real quick, right? A lot of people like to come in my comment section and say, oh, TD's MAGA, right? TD's just undercover Republican and things of that nature. And like I said before, that's really not the case, right? Now, I'll vote for anybody, depending on what they're talking about, what their policies are, especially if we're talking about legislation that's specifically geared towards Black Americans. But I'm really not a Republican like that. What I really am so desperate to get our people to understand, right, is how valuable our vote is to the Democratic Party and that we need to weaponize it because they consistently take your votes for granted. They disrespect you with bills that they keep trying to pass that I'm going to pull up in a little bit, right? I'm going to get to that as well. And then they just say silly stuff to you like you ain't black if you don't vote for them, right? But you don't weaponize the vote to get what you need. You just throw it away. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. Weaponize the vote. Weaponize it, right? That's really what the message is of this channel. But at the same time, too, let Trump come out and start talking, or DeSantis. I don't care. Let one of them two come out and start talking about they have legislation that's going to be specifically catered to the black community to assist the needs of the community. Yes, I will vote for them in a heartbeat. So I want to make sure that I put that out there as well. Don't think that, like I won't vote for them. Yes, I would. Yes, I would, if they're talking right. But at the same time, too, once again, not to keep beat a dead horse, and we'll get into the article, we need to make sure that we're weaponizing the vote, right? And that's why this particular information today is so important, concerning how vital the black vote is to the Democratic Party. So now let's get into this article right here. That's a little bit misleading from the New York Times, right? It's a little bit misleading from the New York Times because in this article, it's not the New York Times, I should say Time Magazine. Because as you can see here, it's titled Black Voters Gave Biden the White House. They may determine whether he stays there, right? So let's check this out, right? Let me get into this. Okay. And make sure you hit the like button as well. I think there's 236 people in here. Please hit the like button and share this video out. So let's get into this. Plenty of ink has been spent linking Joe Biden's win in 2020 with black voters, right? It's no exaggeration to credit his nomination to a unified black electorate in South Carolina's primary, thanks in no small measure to the clout of Representative Jim Clyburn's endorsement in the state, where more than half of Democratic turnouts was black. The through line continues to that November. The through line continues to that November when Biden's win over Donald Trump came thanks to the slice of voters who remained loyal to the former vice president and deeply hostile to the man he was facing. If he wins again next year, this is the important part, and this is what the Time magazine article is highlighting. If he wins again next year, Biden's final act in public life would be the surest flex of black political power in decades. I'm going to read that one more time. If he wins again next year, Biden's final act in public life could be the surest flex of black political power in decades. Right? So they're telling you right there, you have the power. We have the power to either keep him in or keep him out. Why we don't weaponize the vote to get what we need is beyond me, right? But they keep telling you that you have the power. A lot of times when we talk politics, people will say, well, they don't do anything for you, Democrats, right? You still have some people that say, well, the reason they don't do anything for you is because you don't pay for them, right? You got to pay to play. You got to set up super PACs and things of that nature. And that's true to a degree. But when you have that kind of power, what he was saying, what this author of this article was saying, this would be the biggest flex of black political power in decades. When you have that kind of political power as it pertains to the vote, not weaponizing it to get what you need is just idiotic and stupid, right? And then at that point, you get what you get and you get what you deserve. If you're not willing to flex your own power properly and accordingly, you get what you get. So let's get back into this article, right? And this is going to lead us to a data poll really quickly in a second. But quietly, there have been some rumblings inside Democratic circles that Biden needs to do more to shore up his position with black voters. Why? Because they know that they haven't done anything. That's why they don't do anything for black Americans. And to a certain degree, you see some black folks, a nice amount of us, get a little antsy, a little upset. But history keeps showing that regardless of how upset we may get, we keep showing up for these people. But let's carry on. While polls show almost half of all Democrats would prefer he hang up his Air Force One bomber jacket after one term, his support remains far stronger among Black voters. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. And yet, even the number may be going ever so wobbly. We are talking about movement on the fringes of a mainstay of Democratic politics for sure. But recent elections have shown that even the slightest uh what did I say? Rob, where are you at? Even the slightest gradation matters. I think that's what it's. That's why I need Rob with me to help me read sometimes. It matters. Biden's favorability rating among Black voters have shifted from 84%, Jesus, from 84% right after he took office in 2021 to 74% at the end of March 2023, according to YouVote Economist polling. Now, let me show you the polling that they're referring to, right? It's gone from 84%. Biden's approval rating among Black Americans has gone from 84% to 74%, right? Now, some people might be asking yourself, you might be asking yourself, well, what does that really mean? What does that really look like, right? It's gone down, so it shows that we're not happy. Black Americans aren't happy, right? It means that the Democrats are in trouble with Black people, right? Not really. Like I said, the Black vote is that important that even if it drops down a little bit, they freak out. But the reality is we're not going anywhere. And that's the problem. We won't abandon them, and we won't weaponize the vote. Now, let me get into this data that they're referring to right now. And once again, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and share this video out on your social media platforms. But let me pull this back up now, all right? Check this out. Now, let's go into the data, because this is crazy. What I'm getting ready to show you is completely insane, all right? Okay, so now here's the data polling that they're referring to, right? What you're looking at right now is Joe Biden's favorability rating with white Americans. Okay. 56% disapproval, unfavorable, and 41.9% approve. So more white Americans are unfavorable towards Biden than they are favorable to him. And I find that really interesting compared to this particular piece of data right here as it pertains to Donald Trump, right? And I just kind of just showing this to show I find it interesting. For as much, right? For as much vitriol as Trump continues to get, and for as much vitriol as he received throughout his presidency, when it comes to white Americans, it was basically a 50-50 split with them. When it came to Donald Trump, it was pretty much a 50-50 split, right? Pretty much for the most part throughout the entirety, you can see, of his time in office, right? It goes here. It starts here because I have all highlighted. So from 2017 all the way literally until now in 2023, while he's not in office, it's still pretty much a 50-50 split. But when you go to Biden, white Americans aren't messing with Biden like that. They're not messing with him at all. They messed with Trump more than they messed with Biden. I just find that interesting. And that's just something to bear in mind, right? But now let's keep going. Let's look at the other demographics. Okay. Let me show you this. So now let's go to Hispanics. Let me show you Hispanics. So we see how white Americans feel about Joe Biden. The overwhelming majority of them, or I should say the majority of them disapprove of Biden. The majority, right? That's right, Rob. Let me White identity politics. That's what you're white identity politics. Biden's a little too woke. He identifies with the blacks and the people of color and the minority and marginalized groups a little bit too much, right? That white identity politics, Trump wasn't really on that. So it was just barely a 50-50 split. But Biden, I don't know. Biden's a people of color lover, it looks like, And white identity politics they're not with that. They don't co-sign that. But look, check this out though, right? Enough with the jokes. Let's get Rob off the screen because Rob is toxic. So, but check this out, right? Now let's look at Hispanics. Okay. This is how Hispanics feel about Biden. He has a 50%, 57% approval rating. 50% of Hispanics approve of Joe Biden. 40% disapprove of Joe Biden. 57% favorable rating. 40.6% unfavorable, right? That's Hispanics. Okay. It's about right. That's an F, right? It's an F. Failed. Okay. Biden has failed. Now let's go to other. Let's check out other, right? Other, Joe Biden has a 43% approval rating, favorable. And it looks like it's tied for the most part in between favorable and unfavorable. Others, this is concerning the AAPI community, as well as, everybody else, basically, Native Americans, all that stuff, right? That's the other. It's pretty much a kind of a dead split, almost tie. 43.7%. They don't even give you the disapproval rating because it's so close, right? And then you have 9.9% that just say they don't know. Okay. So this all kind of makes sense, right? This makes sense because it's kind of it's like kind of the general feel of the general population. Okay. So now one more time, very quickly. All right. Very quickly. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but white people, right? White Americans, Joe Biden is taking a different kind of bus to school, if according to white America. He's taking a little bit smaller bus to school. Okay. They're not messing with him at all. They said, bro, we gonna get held back a grade. Okay. Other, they failed. Biden failed with other, 43.7%. Hispanics, he failed with them again, 57%. Lord have mercy. Look at black folks. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for me to show you all black folks? Let me. I gotta let the suspense build a little bit. I know it's annoying. Just press the button. I know it's annoying, but get ready. This is black folks. Jesus, come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing out here? Like, how is it possible that everybody else gets it except for us? Literally everybody gets it except for us. We're the only ones with the Superman cape on. 77.8% that's out here thinking that Joe Biden is doing a great job. The man has literally done absolutely nothing for Black Americans at all since he's been in office. The man has done nothing. And we give him a 77% approval rating. White folks, 56% negative, right? Beyond fail. Hispanics, 57% approval rating. That's a fail. Other, what was it? 43% approval rating. That's a fail. We gave this man, what is 77%? A C plus? Everybody else gave him a failing grade. But we so lost. We're that lost and that blind of our own political power that we gave this man a 77%, despite doing absolutely nothing tangible for Black Americans. And you all know what I built this channel on. I built this channel on, speaking about economic justice, reparations, and then constantly highlighting the things that the Biden administration has done throughout his presidency for every other group while doing nothing for you, right? doing absolutely nothing for you. Let's go back to this. Because this is hit the like button, please, if you haven't already. Please hit the like button. I don't want to be mean, right? I don't want to be mean, and I don't want to like come off as be disrespectful. But at the same time, I'm not sorry for saying this as well. I'm really not. But like, this is mental illness, man. This is mental illness. It defies logic what we're watching here and what we're seeing here, where everybody else gets it except for us, right? Let me show y'all Kamala Harris, Larry. Let's see what's up with Kamala Harris and how things are looking with her, as far as the people. Now we know because I've covered this rather intensely, right? I make a lot of Kamala Harris videos. And thank you very much for your support to the channel. ICIP13, the first person to show support to the channel today. Thank you very much, ICIP13, for the super chat. ICIP13 said, "Peace, TD. Appreciate your service, and I appreciate your support to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. It's very much needed and much appreciated. And salute to you for being the first one to show support to the channel today via super chat. Thank you very much. Now, let's take a look at this with Kamala Harris, right? Let's take a look at this. All right. So once again, white Americans, same thing. 59%, 59.2% disapproval rating, right? And we all know, because like I said, I've covered, what's the word I'm looking for, intensely, how much Kamala Harris is disliked in the country. She's deeply disliked in her own party, the Democratic Party. They don't like her. They really don't want anything else to do with her, right? The general population at large does not care for Kamala Harris at all. And she's just flat out horrible at her job. The borders are. Yet the borders busted wide open and illegal immigrants are flooding in like crazy. You know, so much so to the point that, as you all saw in one of my most recent videos, Eric Adams is even calling out Joe Biden and Kamala Harris now. He's putting them on blast, talking about how they abandoned us. They abandoned New York City, right? But let's keep going, right? We got white. Let's look at other. We'll start with other. White Americans, Kamala Harris is being held back a grade, negative 59%. Other, 51.9%. Okay, that's a failing grade, as it should be a failing grade. Hispanics, 52%. Okay, as it should be. Failing grade, as it should be. Black Americans, got a drum roll, please. 67.9%. It's there's a D plus. I mean, at least it's a D. I guess we can say that at least it's a D, right? But compared to everybody else, look, compared to everybody else, Black Americans' approval rating of Biden and Harris looks like the racial wealth gap. Okay. It looks like the racial wealth gap. Black Americans is the yellow, is the green part up here, right? And then the rest of America, I should say Black America is the red portion of the line right there, right? And then white America is at the top, or everybody else at the top. This looks like the racial wealth gap. Is that busted wide open? It's just crazy to me how much we don't get it. And it's really disheartening. Like, I make these little bit of jokes just so that like I don't really get too upset, right? And that I don't get too emotional and in my feelings and start like screaming and yelling and getting all quote passionate, right? But it's wild. But this also highlights as well. How important the Black vote is to the Democratic Party. It highlights that as well, because even though for reasons that are beyond belief, we largely support Biden, right? Like no other. Everybody else gave him a failing grade, not us. C plus, 77%. Despite that, even it dropping a little bit to 77% had the Democrats scrambling and going crazy, has them going wild, right? They're saying to themselves, we got to do something. We got to make sure that Black folks are still on the train, right? Got to make sure they're still on the train. And also, Oh, you got another super chat that came in. Thank you very much. Y'all know I can't read. Larrett TV, I believe it's pronounced. Larrett TV. Thank you very much, Larrett TV. Larrett TV said, thank you, brother, for the insight. Continue to wake up the masses. I'm trying to, Larrett TV. I'm trying to. You know what I mean? And hopefully it'll have some effect, right? Especially if you guys share this out and make sure it goes out to your family, friends, relatives, so on and so forth. Put it on social media as well and hit the like button. Larrett TV, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being the second person today to contribute to today's show. Thank you. Your support is very much appreciated, right? But the fact that his approval rating, right, Biden's approval rating among Black Americans looks the way it does, the fact that it's that way is the reason why we get disrespected the way we do, and they pass a bunch of nonsensical bills, right, to appease Black Americans. It's the reason why you see Kamala Harris, and obviously I've talked about this before, come out and lie and say silly things like, "Oh, well, I support Kwanzaa," or I support Kwanzaa. I grew up celebrating Kwanzaa. We all know that that's a lie. But what people have to understand is that's a test. It's a test to see, will Black folks still really go for anything? Can we still just say anything to them and they'll just eat it up with no pushback and just won't care and will vote for us anyways? That's what that is. That's why they come out and say absurd things like that, right? And I was going to make a separate video about what I'm going to talk about right now, but I'll just speak on it here, and I'll probably cut this portion up as a clip and I'll re-upload it like at a later date, maybe Sunday or something like that, right? So if you're watching the live stream right now and you're obviously going to see this part of the presentation that I'm going to present to you, just make sure on Sunday when I re-upload this portion, just watch it anyway. At least watch halfway through, and then you click off to the video. Help me out with the analytics, okay? Help me out this Sunday. But the fact that they know that they have Black Americans in pocket the way that they do is why they continue to do nonsense like this, okay? Now, obviously, we all know, or some of you may know, right? Let me pull this up right now. Let me put this back on the screen. Now, obviously, we all know about this foolishness that passed under the Biden administration, right? Joe Biden, he did do something for Black Americans. Well, what did he do, right? Well, under the Biden administration, remember everybody? We got Hip Hop Celebration Day. And now, mind you, there's something else that I'm leading to something else. I'm going somewhere else with this, okay? I'm going somewhere else with this. It's not just about this, but this is just, this is just a little intro to what I'm going to get into next, right? But under the Biden administration, the Senate passes Hip Hop Celebration Day, August 11th. Now, mind you, the Senate, think about when you listen to CNN and MSNBC or Fox News and all these other channels. The Senate can't agree to pass anything. The Senate can't agree to pass not one thing, but the one thing they were able to agree on at the Senate, the one thing they were able to agree on, right, was making August 11 Hip Hop Celebration Day, as well as making August Hip Hop Recognition Month, and making November Hip Hop History Month. You have to ask yourself, how do they even come up with this kind of stuff? And I'm trying to tell you, when you see foolishness like this being passed in the Senate, I'm telling you, they're playing with you. This is how these folks play with you. They make fun of you, and they're playing with you, and they're testing you to see, can we really just do and say anything? And Black folks to go for it? Biden's been in office, going to 3 years now? And we got Hip Hop History Month, Hip Hop Celebration Day, and Hip Hop Recognition Month. And now as a follow-up, let me give you guys the follow-up, right? Now as a follow-up to this, this is what we have our so-called Black leaders, right? Our Black political representatives fighting for. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this foolishness. Rap Act, a bill to ban use of lyrics as court evidence, reintroduced to Congress. Really? That's what we're doing? The Rap Act? We the Democrats, right? Your representatives in Congress, Jamal Bowman, and one other brother as well, right? The Congressional Black Caucus is out here promoting, they're trying to get the Rap Act passed. The Rap Act. And we're going to get into what that is in just a moment, right? We're going to get into what that is in just a moment. And give me just a second. Oh, Jesus. Thank you very, very much. Famously Blacker with the extremely generous super chat. Thank you very much, Famously Blacker. That is very, very much appreciated. And me saying that, you get me all choked up with that super chat. Look, I'm about to cry. I really just need a sip of tea. Give me just a second. I'm fronting. I'm really about to cry, but you know, that's why I don't got the camera on me right now. Let me sip my tea. Okay, right. But thank you very much for that. That's a really generous super chat, brother. And I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, Famously Blacker. And shout out, to the homie Kid Gravity Beyond as well. TD needs to come to the Knight Rider side with Kid Gravity one day. I got to make my way over to your YouTube channel one day, man. I really do. We'll figure it out. We'll set it up because you and Rob are good. So I'll holler at Rob and we'll set that up, man. Because I like what you do on your channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to Kid Gravity Beyond, go subscribe to Kid Gravity Beyond's YouTube channel. He has a really good channel, has really good discussions and conversations with people over there. So shout out to him. He runs a really good like professional type panel too, from what I've seen thus far. Kid Gravity, he doesn't have those. From what I've seen thus far, there's no he doesn't have like chaotic streams and chaotic panels where you just got everybody out here screaming and yelling like crazy. You know what I mean? Very organized, good stuff. So shout out to Kid Gravity, right? Shout out to Kid Gravity. And also, let's get into this. And shout out to Untried Genius. Untried Genius has just been like a loyal supporter for a long time. So I just wanted to make sure to shout this brother out. Imagine not just saying, oh, it's just lyrics and taking 10 years. Yeah. But let's get into this, right? So this is what you have our representatives fighting for, right? This is what they're doing out here. Our so-called black leaders are out here trying to get the Rap Act passed. That's what they're trying to do. Now, mind you, as I've stated over and over again, and I told you all, I'm going to die on this hill, okay? There is no issue more pressing, more dire that needs to be addressed and needs to be settled than the closing of the racial wealth gap. If the racial wealth gap is not closed, right, then nothing else matters. If that's not what the goal is, if that's not what we're working towards, all other legislation is nonsense. It's all BS, right? And it's all a waste of time if that's not what we're working for, okay? There's 409 people in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button if you have not already. And understand when I say that, that's not just me saying this, okay? That's not just me saying this. When I say that, Biden also agrees with me saying that as well, because I got this from Biden, okay? I'm gonna let you all know right now. That isn't me saying this. This is Joe Biden who said this. Let me play this clip for you from a video that I uploaded a while back ago, right? Future, economically speaking, let me remove myself from off the screen. Okay. In the very near future, economically speaking, you are going to be the walking dead out here. And even Joe Biden knows this to be true. And I quote, unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, there is real trouble.
Unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble. Unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble. Unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble.
Okay, I had to make sure to play that 3 times for you guys, 3 times Umar, right? So they know what the problems are. They know what's really happening out here. They know what needs to be done, yet they don't do it. And instead, they promote and try to pass silly bills now, right? Like the Rap Act. That's what they're the racial wealth gap is the most pressing issue that's going on within the black community that needs to be addressed. But no, Jamal Bowman wants to pass the Rap Act, right? Not legislation that could close the racial wealth gap. Let's get into this really quickly. Okay. Let's read a little bit of this. The Restoring Artist Protection Act, Rap Act, a bill first introduced last July to protect artists from the wrongful use of their lyrics against them in criminal and civil proceedings, has been reintroduced to Congress by two Democratic congressmen, Hank Johnson and Big Homie Jamal Bowman. At a press conference streamed live by the Recording Academy, the congressmen were joined by representatives of the Black Music Action Coalition, the Recording Academy, the Black Music Collective, SAG AFTRA, and other First Amendment advocates in making a public demand for artists' free speech rights. Imagine the assembly of these kind of folks, but they were actually pushing, let's just say, for reparations, or they were actually pushing in general just for a tangible, concrete, transformative legislation that would actually move the needle on closing the racial wealth gap. Imagine how powerful that would be. But no, instead, these folks are trying to push the Rap Act. Okay, they've already secured Hip Hop Celebration Day on August 11th. They've already secured Hip Hop Recognition Month in August. They've already secured Hip Hop History Month in November. And now our glorious black leader, Jamal Bowman, is trying to secure the Rap Act, right? As well as all the other black organizations within the music industry. Let's get the Black Act passed. Sure. That's just what we need. Exactly. The bill seeks to add a presumption to the federal rules of evidence that would limit the admissibility of evidence of an artist's creative or artistic expression against that artist in court. Since 2020, the group found that prosecutors in more than 500 criminal cases have used artists' lyrics as evidence against them. I'm going to be brutally honest with you about this, right? I'm going to be brutally honest with you about this. In the face of what we know and understand to be true, right? In the face of what we know and understand to be true, which is this, and remember, Biden knows this as well, right?
The black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble.
So in the face of what we know to be true, I can care less about a goofy rapper who raps about doing goofy things and then goes out and emulates those goofy things in real life, gets jammed up, and then the court uses his goofy lyrics against him. I really don't care. That's just me being brutally honest. I really don't care, right? Because if you're out here being goofy, then you get what you get and you get what you deserve. You see, J. Cole never gets jammed up like this. Kendrick Lamar never gets jammed up like this. Why? Because they're not goofy. But if you're going to be out here rapping goofy lyrics and then you want to be a goofy in real life, and I'm just being nice, right? I don't like to curse and all that kind of stuff. But if that's how you out here moving, then you get what you get, man. I really don't got nothing for you. Not in the face of all the real issues and problems that are going on, in the black community. Not in the face of what we actually know to be true and the things that we know need to be done politically. I can't get down with supporting a Rap Act. Nobody has time for that right now. We don't have time for this. Shout out to Untried Juice, Untried Genius. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. And he's a channel member as well, so he's doubling down on his support, man. What's funny is it's Democrat DA that's prosecuting YSL case. Yeah, it's a Democratic Party. It's a Democrat DA that's prosecuting the YSL case, right? So they speak out of both ends of their behind, to say the very least, And shout out to Sincere Love to God as well. If y'all not subscribed to Sincere Love to God's YouTube channel, he has a great YouTube channel as well. Y'all need to go subscribe to him. Him and Nice D Girl, that's his co-host, on the, I believe it's called the Godcast, right, brother? Let them know in the comment section. They have a really good podcast, that they produce pretty much well, definitely weekly. I think they produce the live streams about 2 to 3 times a week, something like that. And they have a really, really great show on Sincere Love to God's YouTube channel that's called the Black Business Showcase, if I remember correctly. In my opinion, the Black Business Showcase is really the pillar of that channel. I think that showcase that they have, every week of Black businesses, I think that's really critical. It's really key. That's something that's really great, that every week that's what's highlighted on his channel is Black businesses. People are always talking about, so we got to start our own. We got to start our own. We got to start our own. Many of us already have our own. We just don't support them. Or I'll throw you, I'll take it easy on you. You just don't know about them, right? But if you subscribe to Sincere Love to God's YouTube channel, right, you'll find out about them over there. And no, he didn't pay me to say this, right? That's just how I genuinely feel. And the reason I said that is because I feel like I sold Sincere's channel well, didn't I? That sounded good. Like, I all in one take, straight from the top of the dome. I like that. I'm impressed with myself, I'm impressed with myself right now. Oh man, shit, no problem, brother. No problem at all, man. I need to go ahead and subscribe to Sincere Love to God, man. Go show that brother some love on his YouTube channel. But let's get back into this. So what I want to do right now is and I don't want to kill you guys, because I know this it's going to be hard to listen to. It's about 5 minutes long. We're definitely not going to listen to the whole 5 minutes, but I just want to present to you all the visual, right? The visual of this nonsense behind supporting the RAP Act, right? I just wanted to give you just something for you to see as it pertains to this. So we're going to listen to Jamal Bowman speak for a little bit and just listen. I'm going to play maybe about 2 minutes of it, right? Look at all the extra sauce that he puts on attempting to sell the RAP Act. Just listen to the first 2 minutes of this 5 minute video, and he just puts so much on it to sell this foolishness and to get you to believe that the RAP Act is a very serious thing that needs to be passed, right? So let me play this for you right now. Give me just a moment while I pull this video up. And also, I think there's, what does it say, about 436 of you in here right now. Please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. Now let's check out what Jamal Bowman had to say, right? This is going to be painful, but here we go.
Amendment dictates that we have.
Let me start it over. Okay.
Our First Amendment dictates that we have the freedom to speak and express ourselves. First Amendment. When we founded the United States of America, there were many who did not want to move forward without the First Amendment being in place. Because if you do not have freedom of speech, you do not have a democracy. And we already saw our democracy under attack on January 6, 2021. That's right.
Oh, here we go, the January 6 talk. Okay. Anyways, let's keep going.
And we see many, like Tucker Carlson and many at Fox News, who have continued to perpetuate an us versus them ideology.
I 100% agree with you, Slauson girl. They need to protect journalists' First Amendment's right. Right? That's what they need to be protecting. If they're going to be protecting anything, they need to be protecting that, right?
That divides America more towards fascism and more away from democracy. But what's beautiful about creativity in the arts is it brings people together.
That's right.
It brings people together from diverse experiences, from diverse backgrounds, regardless of race or age or gender or what have you. It brings people together to create beautiful masterpieces that educate, inform, and inspire the next generation of leaders that we need in Washington and across the country.
I can't do this anymore. I can't listen to this man's foolishness. If we're talking about the RAP Act, then those type of artists that he's describing, they don't have those kind of issues. The Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole's of the world. So we definitely don't need, if we're gonna listen to what a rapper has to say that's gonna inspire the next generation to like run for office and to fight for freedom and stuff like that. If we're gonna actually listen to rappers, which I don't believe we should on serious matters like this, but if we are, it's definitely not going to be the young thugs of the world. It's definitely not going to be that. The people who I guess the Rap Act will protect. It's definitely not going to be that. But once again, in light of all the serious issues that the black community is dealing with, in light of all this, right? And in light, I'm going to keep playing this because people got to know about this. And in the face of what we know to be a fact, right? Here we go again.
Black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble. Unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble.
Once again, in the face of what we know to be true, and Joe Biden as well, and the rest of the Democratic Party, you see, they know what the real issue is. And in the face of what we know to be true, this is what the Congressional Black Caucus is pushing. This is what the Democrats are pushing. This is what they're doing out here, right? And they know that they can do it because they know that black folks aren't going anywhere. I'm going to show you this one more time in closing, right? Time is flying. We're almost at an hour. I had so much more that I wanted to get to, but you all know we're approaching that time, right? But they know that they can do this because, just come back to this right here, right? Come back to the actual data. Joe Biden's favorability rating. White America, a strong F, beyond a F, negative 59%, right? Other, meaning AAPI and everybody else, right? People of color and whatnot, 52.2% approval rating, which is an F. Hispanics, 50.6%, right? Which, 50, let me make it accurate, 57%, which is an F, right? And then we come to black folks, Lord have mercy, 77.8%. As long as they know that they have you in the bag like this, right? As long as they know that they have you in pocket, Biden knows that they have you in pocket. Now the approval rating has dropped a little bit. It dipped a little bit, right? And the fact that it dipped a little bit, they're freaking out and they're saying, hey, we got to sell the blacks on something. Jamal Bowman, get out there and sell them on the Rap Act, right? You get out there and you sell them on the Rap Act, Jamal. As long as once it dips a little bit, that's when you start seeing foolishness like this come out. When it starts to dip a little bit, that's when all of a sudden you start hearing about, pretty soon, mark my words, they're going to reintroduce that Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. How long have they been teasing black folks with Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill? They've been teasing you with that for about what, over 4 years now? 6 years now, something like that. I think maybe since Obama, so a lot longer than 6 years. And they still haven't dropped that Harriet Tubman $20 bill yet. They still haven't dropped it yet, right? Because they only say these kind of silly things and do these kind of silly things when they feel like the approval rating has dropped a little bit. But once again, even with the approval rating with black Americans that strong, it goes to show how powerful our votes actually are, right? And if we're not weaponizing the vote to make sure that we get what we need, weaponizing it meaning that Biden and them need to go ahead and lose. Go ahead and let DeSantis and Trump get in there one time. Let them get back. Let Trump get back in there. Let DeSantis get in there. Let them get in there. You got to weaponize the vote. You got to weaponize it. You have to. If you're not, and I should say if we're not, then we're fools. We're fools for not weaponizing it and getting what we need out of politics. And because we don't weaponize it, and they do know that they have us in pocket, that's why you see foolishness like what I just presented to you, where you have all these hip hop history days, hip hop history months, hip hop celebration days, silliness, nonsense that's being passed in the Senate. Nothing manages to pass in the Senate, but that does. And then they follow up with the Rap Act. It's never going to stop. It's never going to end. And with all that being said, it does it for today's show. I might have to run it back, man, and then do like a part 2 on Saturday, because there's other stuff in the article that I wanted to get to, but we're at that time, man. Unfortunately, we're hour in, and I gotta wrap this thing up. I gotta wrap this up. But shout out to Fanteezy for the super chat. Appreciate you, Fanteezy. He said, keep on going, TD. You got to give us one more hour of truth. Yeah, truth. Y'all know I tell the truth up here. TROOF, right? Just like Tucker Carlson, right? The truth. But I do think I'm definitely gonna have to follow up with a part two. Maybe maybe on Sunday. Maybe I'll follow up with the part two on this Sunday. Because like I said, there's some other stuff in the article that I wanted to get to, but I haven't got a chance to get to it yet. And just for so you all know, I don't like being on live past an hour, but particularly on Fridays, like right now, like I'm looking at the clock, like every Friday when I actually do have to go. Right. I actually do have to go. So shout out to Fanteezy. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button, right? Share this video out and hit the like button on your way out. Okay? Please hit the like button on your way out. That's right, Untried Genius. TD Truth Media. TD Truth. TROOF. TR Truth. TD Truth Media. You know, and also, I want before the people started dropping off already, before I got to the story. Just as a really quickly, a follow-up to what happened with me and a friend of my friend that I told you about. Our friendship was seemingly coming to an end because of Kamala Harris, right? I didn't have an opportunity to send him the link to the last live stream where I put him on blast. Because y'all remember, if you saw last live stream, I put my boy, you know, me and him, we've been friends like a brother to me, man. We've been friends for over 20 plus years now. I put him on blast last live stream because, you know, he was supposed to put me on rotation, on schedule to, you know, hit me up, you know, every quarter, every 3 months. He's a really busy brother. He sticks to a tight schedule. And it seemed like I fell out of rotation because 6 months went by and he ain't hit me up. And like I told you, his wife is Ski Wee. You know, she's an AKA. And I don't know. I thought maybe, just maybe, you know, maybe she put a little bug in his ear and was like, you need to drop TD. Okay, you need to drop him now. Y'all, you outgrown him. Y'all not in high school no more. And he always talking smack about the Queen Kamala. Okay, he always making videos about her. So I hadn't heard from him in like 6 months. Brother ain't hit me up, right? Well, he actually listened to last week's live stream, you know? And after last week's live stream, he hit me up, you know, and we laughed and joked about it and stuff like that. And let me tell y'all the excuse that he sent to me. And shout out to Yele for the super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Brother, I think you're a man, right? Yele, thank you very much. And also, I can always count on the Splash Sisters, Val Williams and Carla Lockard, to come through last minute, always with the super chats at the very end of the stream in an attempt to keep me on longer. Okay. shout out to the Splash Sisters, Val Williams and Carla Lockard. But he hit me up. We laughed about it and stuff like that. And you know, he was capping. I didn't believe him, right? Let me tell you guys the excuse that he gave me, right? So I'm gonna put him on blast again in case he's listening. Let me tell you the excuse he gave me, right? For why I haven't heard from him in 6 months, right? Why I got taken out of his call rotation. He tried to tell me that the last time that the alarm, the notification went off, right? He called me, right? As he's supposed to, right? That's on schedule, you know, he's busy brother. He hit me up, bet, we chopped it up, everything was great, everything was cool, bet. And then what he tried to lie to me about and tell me was that when I put you in my calendar, I didn't hit the notification to have it year round. I just had you on there for like that portion of the month. So that was what he tried to tell me. He tried to say that he didn't have me on year round, but now he got me on year round. So now he re-put me on his schedule, and now he hit the notification to make sure that after the first dismissal, it doesn't go off. It keeps going. But like I said, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's cap. I don't believe you, bro. I don't believe you. You know, love you, but I don't believe you, man. I think that you got salty over those Kamala Harris videos that I dropped and that I keep dropping. You was mad, wifey was mad, and you dropped me until I called you out publicly, right? And once I called you out publicly, now to save face, just in case, he hit me up talking all that cap, talking about some, oh, yeah, the notification came up, and I just didn't have you on for year round. Yeah, right. I'll tell you guys what really happened. The notification came up, he hit dismiss and delete, and he thought I wasn't going to notice. But I noticed, And I'm on you now, brother. I'm on you. If I don't get that call in the next 3 months, I'll put you on blast again. All right. So, anyways, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Did 4 minutes overtime, going on 5 minutes overtime. And so, anyways, hit that like button on your way out, man. Hit the like button on your way out. Thank you for everybody who contributed to today's show. Thank you very much, Tom Slick, for the super chat as well. Thank you, everybody. I was checking to see if anybody. Yep. All right. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining me today. I got to get up out of here. I got to make sure that I go pick up my son on time for once, right? From school. Pick them up from school on time. So I'll see you guys later. Catch you guys next Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also watch out for the videos that drop in between throughout the week. And I might go live again this weekend to finish up, this article because, I didn't get through everything that I wanted to get to. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Also, Jesus Christ, I can't get out of here. Also, make sure you join Telegram. The link is pinned in the live chat. All right. So however you're watching this, if you're watching this on your phone, it's right there on the bottom. If you're watching this on a laptop, it's over there on the left or on the right. It's pinned in the live chat, man. Join my Telegram. And the goal is to get that up to 1,000. Right? I'm trying to get that up to 1,000 followers. I think it's like a little over 160 now. So join me on Telegram, and I'm out. I'll let you guys later, man. That's enough rambling. Peace. Have a good one. And shout out to Torian for joining the stream late, man. Shout out to Torian Reigns Reloaded. I'm out of here. Peace.